Hi, it's Stacy with So Steady, and I am here today with the amazing Pam Varner. And we are live, guys, and we are sharing with you an amazing Make It a Mini quilt series by Pam Varner. So, we are going to share with you not just this awesome quilt class series that she's kicking off, where she's going to walk you through how to make this gorgeous miniature quilt, but also some plans for some new miniature quilts that she has in store. But she's also going to walk you through what you're going to learn in that class series. And then we're going to share with you some awesome opportunities to take advantage of some new tools that we have, including our Make It a Square trim guide, which we're releasing today. And this was actually a trim guide that was inspired by Pam and her quilt. That is going to allow you to trim up these tiny little squares in a really, really quick second. So she's going to be able to share that a little bit with you as well. And then we're going to have an opportunity for you to win one of those new tools. And of course, we'll be sharing with you all about this gorgeous quilt and what is goes into making a mini quilt. There is one other fun thing that we're going to be doing, and we're going to have the opportunity because these mini quilts actually take some new tools, some tools that you may not already have. We have a little mini quilt tool kit discount option for you if you buy all of our mini quilt rulers. There's three of them that we're recommending. And so we'll give you a little discount. We'll share that with you as well. So, Pam, I'm going to go ahead and put you full screen here to tell everyone all about your new quilt and what this quilt series is all about.
Sounds great. Thanks, Stacy. Hi,
Thank you.
everybody. I am very excited to be here. This is my mini quilt. I'm going to pull it up a little bit closer. Hopefully, you can see it. And this is my mini quilt. It is about 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches finished. So that's including the binding. The squares themselves are smaller than 3 inches. They do take a little bit of finesse to put that together. The quilting is done, I'm super excited, with the mini collection. So it's embroidered. So you're going to piece this little quilt sandwich together, and then we're going to put it in the embroidery module and hoop it and stitch out. And they stitch out so quickly because it's so small. You can actually get this whole thing quilted in probably an hour is how fast it gets quilted. So I'm using the mini collection, which Stacy's going to talk about a little bit later. And so this is what I use to stitch everything out. To prepare everything, we have the Westerly Design quarter square and half square triangles, cutting rulers, the adjustable rulers, but these are the mini size. So you may be used to the ones that do, I think it's 3 inches to 6 inches and maybe some a little bit bigger. These go as small as a half an inch square that you can make out of these. So they go from a half an inch to a 3 inch. I'm going to show you how to use these. I'm going to explain some of the challenges of making a mini quilt and some of the tricks that you can do when you're making a mini quilt. So if you've never made a mini quilt, this is a really good class to get started because we're just doing some basic blocks. We're doing a 4 patch, we're doing a half square triangle and a quarter square triangle, and it's just a really good way to get you started with mini quilts. So in this class, we're going to actually design the quilt. So you're going to help me pick out the fabric that I'm going to use when I stitch this out live. Okay, so this class is over Zoom. It's a live class. It's 4 sessions. Each session is about 2 hours, depending on questions and challenges that people may have. You're going to be able to ask questions. You're going to be able to do show and tell when you get your project done and show it off to everybody. So that's how the class is going to work. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, I used a Tula Pink, I think it's the Besties Charm Pack. So this is a really fun charm pack friendly. Mini quilts are really great to use up your charm packs. Okay, so this is the charm pack that I use, just to let you look at it real quickly. So you can see it has some solids in it. I also use background white. See, it has a little bit of solid. So we're going to pick fabrics out of this to make another quilt. There's two different sessions. There's one on Friday nights and there's one on Saturday morning. So hopefully that covers everybody in the US and everybody in Australia and Europe, and we can get everybody covered. The other thing that we're going to play with is the make it a square. So this is kind of hard to see. So I'm going to let Stacy. Stacy, can you kind of go over the make it a square? This is the mini one, and it allows you to
Absolutely.
square up your block. So I'm going to let Stacy show that real quick. Do you mind?
Okay, so yep, not a problem. So let's go ahead and head over and look at that. It's right on the screen here. So the make it square, basically, I'm going to make this picture a little bit bigger, and that way it'll just be really full screen for you. Um, let's see if I can make this as big as possible. And okay, there it is. So you can see right now it's got 1/4 inch markings that's going all the way down through to the 4.5 inch markings. So the goal is to be able to allow you to go ahead and square up whatever size of blocks you're working with. Now, Pam, I believe you were doing 2.5 inch blocks in this one. Is that right?
No, it's 2 3/4.
2 3/4 inch blocks. Perfect.
Yeah.
So basically, you're going to use these markings to go ahead and align that. And as you're making a square, this 45-degree angle is going to really help you in squaring that up as well. So you've got the 45-degree angle to be able to really help with the squaring up. And then, of course, those markings to be able to line everything up quickly. The ruler is built for right-handed use. But you can always flip it over if you're a lefty, as Pam has done, to be able to use it for cutting on the left side as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and show a quick video, and that is going to share with you the kind of the uses of it and give you a little better idea of just why we were so excited about this as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Excellent. So I always think pictures speak 1,000 words and videos even better. So basically, the Make It Square does come in two sizes. We do offer this mini Make It Square, which is the 4.5 inch size. That is going to be the one that we're recommending for the mini quilt series. And what we did, and we went ahead and announced that right down here, making a mini quilt, get a $7 discount if you buy all three of our mini quilt tools below. So each of the mini quilt tools, this one is $18 for the mini Make It Square ruler. We also have our our 1/2 inch to 3 inch, and that is going to be our half square triangle. That cost to you is $14.50. So if we add all of those to our cart, which I'm going to go ahead and do right now, just to kind of share with you how this is going to work. What you're going to see is you're going to go ahead and see a discount. So I'm going to add the mini Make It Square. I'm going to add the mini quarter square. And then I'm going to add the mini half square triangle to my cart. And voila, we're going to go and see the amazing deal. So it would normally be $47 for all three of those, but we have the $7 discount if you buy all three, making the total cost for all three of those rulers just $40. So that is kind of the discount for those mini Make It Square tools that you need that are really, really helpful for this class. And so again, the mini Make It Square brand new ruler. We do have it in a size that goes up to 12.5 inches as well. If you wanted to be able to get a little bit bigger quilt size options, you can do that, but those are not in 1/4 inch increments. Those are actually in 1/2 inch increments. So just so you're aware. And then other rulers that are used in this collection, it was mentioned that the embroidery starter sampler mini embroidery collection was part of that. We'll talk a little bit about that. Janet's all-in-one tool is another tool that was used, and she's going to be using in this Zoom series. Of course, our So Steady grid glider and a stiletto, which I definitely think is going to be helpful when you're doing any kind of small piecework. And then we've got our new square in square trim guide. So those are the tools used. I'm going to head back over to you, Pam, and you can talk a little bit more about it. But again, that mini Make It Square, we are actually doing as a giveaway, and that is starting right now. We're starting the giveaway. So I'm going to post a link to that so you can go ahead and enter to win the mini Make It Square tool. And then we might have one more giveaway we're doing live here today. So stay tuned for that as well, guys. So Pam, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the tools that you used and how you went about making the quilt.
Okay, the one thing about the Make It a Square trim guide, this block here in the middle is just a plain square. It's a great place to showcase an animal, a flower, something that's on your fabric that you really like. And because this, you can square it up and you can get it just perfectly so that motif ends up exactly in the middle of your quilt. So I just wanted to bring that up. What we're going to do in the class, step number one, we're going to design the quilt. So we're going to go over fabrics. We're going to talk about the different kind of fabrics and things like that and pick out the fabrics that we're going to use for the quilt. The next step is we're going to cut everything using the Make It a Square trim guide or trim. I don't know what are we calling this? Make It a Square trim guide. And then we're going to use the half square and the quarter square triangles to make the pieces, and we're going to cut everything up. Then we're going to stitch everything together. There are some tricks to sewing mini quilts. They're to getting the seams right and making sure everything comes out right. And we can then use this guide to make sure that everything is the size that it's supposed to be. We're going to put it all together. We're going to sandwich it. We're going to talk about doing embroidery quilting. So whether you do large blocks or just these little mini ones, you're going to learn tips that will help you with either doing a large block or these mini blocks. We're going to embroider the whole thing. And then for the cherry on the top, we're going to actually bind it. So that's everything that we're going to do in the class. And like I said, it's all on Zoom. I don't know what else we can talk about. It's a
Well,
mini
you
block
mentioned
you can sew
earlier
over
that you're going to be using the miniature embroidery collection. And so I wanted to go ahead and do on that as our first giveaway live today. So
time.
our mini embroidery collection, we haven't talked a whole lot about, but that is actually kind of a try it collection. It's just got 25 designs, and the difference between the mini motif embroidery collection and the collection, the miniature collection that's inside of the sampler starter collection series of embroidery, is that the miniatures, these are our mini collection, these are all 2.5 inch designs. So these are actually a full inch smaller than the ones that come inside of the starter sampler. So if you have the starter sampler collection, then your machine may be able to downsize those for you to work in this mini quilt series, because I think those, like I said, those are all around 3.5 inches in size. And so that could work. And if you don't, then you're going to want to win this mini embroidery collection with the 2.5 inch size. This is kind of like I said, our try it collection. The retail price on that is $25. And so, what I want is I want to go ahead and we'll talk a little bit more about some of those rulers that she's using in there, but I want you guys to go ahead and let us know if this is what something that you'd like to win. So you can, enjoy this for maybe the mini quilt series or some other fun projects that you have in store. So the mini embroidery collection is, again, just 2.5 inch designs. There's 12 of those mini designs in this collection, and your cost normally would be 25, but we're going to go ahead and give one away. So, of course, I see that. Of course, I'd love to win. Who wouldn't want to win this? Well, one thing that I love, Pam, is that I just think that this miniature quilt is such a fun idea. I think it's a really great way to use your charm packs. So tell me, like, if you were to do a miniature block like this, I mean, essentially, you're doing a mini quilt, but could you turn this mini quilt into like a bunch of mini quilts and turn it into a big quilt with a whole bunch of mini blocks?
Of course you could, and you could
Yeah.
do it with quilt as you go. If I were to do that, I would probably buy a fat quarter pack instead of a
Okay.
charm pack, um, because I used, I think I used six charm packs, six charm squares, plus background fabric to do this little quilt here. Now there
Okay.
is fabric left over, not a lot, but there's, a little bit left over. So you would maybe to do like a throw quilt or something like that. And I'm happy to play around with the math if somebody wants to do that, and then you could do it as quilt as you go.
Yeah.
And this
Excellent.
could be one block, and then you could have another block, and
Yeah.
yeah, that would be really fun.
Well, I know it's a series, so and you were showing me earlier, I don't know if you're willing to tease it yet, but you were showing me earlier another mini quilt that you were working on. So, I just thought, this is a really fun way to be able to maybe even kind of create a really, really cool, intricate quilt with a whole bunch of mini, I mean, obviously could take a bit, but it could, be a great way to be able to create something pretty amazing.
Yeah, it would be. This thing,
Hmm.
when they're small like this, they're the one thing that you're really gonna get out of this class. Number one is your piecing skills are gonna improve immensely because they
Yes.
have to be, a little bit more accurate. We're going to talk about preparing the fabric so that how fabric frays when you're sewing and you
Yes.
lose yeah, you lose too many of those strips of the woven fabric and your block is all off. If you've got an 8-inch square and you're off by, a 32nd of an inch, it's really not going to matter. But when you get really tiny and you start losing a 16th of an inch here or a 32nd of an inch here and it keeps adding up, then you've got a problem. So
Yeah.
there's ways to prepare your fabric to prevent that fraying. There's ways to cut your fabric with these tools so that you're not cutting on the bias where you shouldn't be cutting on the bias, and how to do that with your charm pack. And then, just putting it together, and what do you do with the seams and how do you make the seams not so bulky, and what do you do if you have bulky seams and how do you fix that, and those kinds of things. So those are the things we're going to talk about. I'm hoping to turn this into a series if there is interest. So
Okay.
the next one, do you want me to show it?
Yes.
It's not quilted, you guys, so, cut me some slack on that.
Oh, see, I love that.
This is the next one, and that's paper pieced. So if you've never paper pieced before, this is a really good introduction to paper piecing, where it's okay if you make a few mistakes because it's little and you can start over and you're not using that much fabric. So you're not like jumping into, a wall hanging that's paper pieced or something that's really large that's going to freak you out. It's a
Hmm.
good way to learn if you're going to like paper piecing. and how to do paper piecing. I do paper piecing a little different than everybody else. And so even if you're experienced with paper piecing, it's always good. I always love to take classes and learn how people do things differently than the way that I do them. So I
Yeah.
think that's really fun. But this is
Okay.
my, we don't have a name for this. So if somebody's got a great name, go ahead and share and I'll name it.
Oh.
So
Well, I definitely think, I'm always thinking of the spring as we approach that. And so, timing wise, I'm not sure when you plan to release that next project.
we'll
But,
talk.
Mayflowers, maybe. Mayflowers
There you
seems
go.
like a good option.
Mini Mayflowers.
Mini, there you go. I love that.
Mini Mayflowers.
So this class that we're talking about actually runs March 1st, is when we kick it off, and then it's four sessions. So we have Friday night, March 1st, March 22nd, April 5th, and April 12th. And each of those sessions is 2 hours. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Um, so yeah, basically, this is going to be a great way to be able to really dive deeper and what I love. Someone just commented that they love that we're doing more Zoom classes. What I love about Zoom classes is that they are a way of committing yourself to actually doing the job, right? Doing the project, not just watching it, but actually committing yourself to doing it because the Zoom is intended for you to be hands on. It's a great way to get into the sewing room and do it as you go, ask questions as you do it. And so I love that hopefully everyone will be coming out of this. And by April 12th, you will have your first gorgeous mini quilt done and you'll be ready for maybe a mini Mayflowers quilt, mini quilt, or we had someone suggest Tuesday tulips. That could be a fun
Okay.
name for it.
There you go. Tuesday tulips. I like
I
that.
like that.
And then we could do the class on Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly. That's
There you go.
perfect.
So
Um,
here, the classes, you have a choice. You can either do the Friday evening class or you can
okay,
do the Saturday morning class.
perfect. Okay,
So it depends on what time zone you're in. If you're in Europe, you're probably going to want to do the Saturday morning. If
yeah.
you're in Australia, New Zealand, you're probably going to want to do the Friday nights because that will be Saturday morning for you.
hmm Excellent. Well, like I said, I'm just really, really excited about the opportunity to be able to share more Zoom classes with everyone as well. I do think it's a great way to be able to really just dive in, commit yourself to creating some really, really fun projects. So, Pam has been doing Zoom classes for years. And so she is definitely probably one of our more seasoned educators in doing Zoom classes. And so she'll, I know, do an amazing job with all of you in walking you through creating this fun mini quilt series. So one thing that I wanted to do, because I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with our half square and quarter square and adjustable locking rulers. Um, just out of curiosity, you can, comment right now. I'm just curious how many of you are familiar with those because this is, something we're showing off more and more lately. But these are award-winning rulers that we've had kind of in our Westerly line since we brought it to America here in 2015. But these rulers are just an amazing way for everyone to be able to really accurately cut and not just one piece at a time, but it's really intended for you to cut layers and layers accurately at a time. And so I thought that I might show off, and I say these are award-winning rulers because in 2000, I believe it was 2012 or 13, Leonie West, the creator of the Wesley Design Rulers, actually won Inventor of the Year um, for this ruler set in Australia. So a really, really smart system with the with the designs and the math all built into these rulers. So if you want a finished a finished half square triangle, all of the markings are built into these rulers to be able to make that happen for you. So I'm going to share with you a quick video that she created on how to create the half square triangles using these adjustable locking rulers. And then we'll pick a winner. We're going to pick a winner for that miniature embroidery collection. And then we'll answer some questions, and we'll give you guys an opportunity to ask more questions about the class or any of these rulers that we're sharing today. So let's go ahead and head over to this video. And this is again by Westerly Design.
A quarter square triangle or a half square triangle, or I am joining blocks that are the same repeatedly.
Stacey, you're not showing the video.
Right sides together, and here I've got one layer of the blue, 2 layers of the cream, and another blue underneath. This makes it much easier when I go to sew my pieces. They are with the piece I want them to be sewn to. I'm going to make a quarter square triangle, and taking the quarter square triangle, I have set it up at 4, which is the finished measurement. So the block will finish at 4 inches. I will tip it upside down. This is why we don't put thumb screws onto the triangles. I will then use the 2 rulers together to get a measurement of a strip that I require. So I've loosened the screws on the 24-inch ruler. I will bring the black fabric guide to the clear ruler, and underneath the black fabric guide to the point of the clear quarter square triangle. Tighten it, then do the same at the other end. I will then come back to the first end and just make sure, loosen it off and just make sure that that is the exact measurement. And that is a measurement for a strip to cut to make quarter square triangles. I will then bring the black fabric guide to the edge of the fabric, again holding the ruler down, cut a strip of fabric. Now I will cut quarter square triangles. Bring the guide to the edge of the fabric, holding the ruler from the front. Cut the first cut this way. The second cut, I actually start at the back. It gives me a guide to bring my ruler, my rotary cutter, into the fabric and cut this way. If you will notice, the rotary cutter is actually pulling this way. It is not going forward towards my fingers, and I will not damage the rotary cutter on the point of the tool or damage the point of the tool. To cut the second set of triangles, we'll just bring the guide to the edge of the fabric and bring the ruler to the point where the last triangle finished. Hold the ruler down from the front. I have one set of triangles and another set of triangles. This is the fastest way I know to cut quarter square triangles. All the seam allowances are built in, so the only measurement we do need to know is the measurement of the finished block. And that is the strip cut. Then you will piece your quarter square triangles together, stitching the short sides together, make 2 sets, stitch another 2 together, and then you will join these 2 sets together. Half square triangles, again, the tool measurement includes all the seam allowances, and I'm going to make 4-inch finished blocks, so I've set the guide at the 4 mark. I will tip this one upside down, using the 18-inch ruler this time, loosen the screws, and again bring the black to the clear and the black to the clear underneath. Do the same at the other end, black to clear, and come back to the first end just to check that measurement. Now I will cut strips of fabric on a 45-degree angle. We want the bias to be in the centre of the block. So I will line the 45-degree line with the edge of the fabric, just coming slightly over the edge of the start of the corner, and hold the guide down and cut the first strip of fabric, and I'll just cut another 2 strips. As I showed you earlier, if your ruler is not long enough, you can just bring the guide into the edge of the fabric again and continue to cut along. I will now take a couple of these strips up to the sewing room and sew a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance down each side. The advantage of making half square triangles this way is the bias has been sewn when the fabric is in the strip. Therefore, I am not going to be stretching the bias after I have cut the triangle out, which can alter the shape of the triangle. So once I've sewn it, I will then, using my half square triangle, bring the guide to the edge of the fabric, again hold it down from the front. First cut on this side, and the second cut the same as the 1/4 square coming down. I have cut one. Bring the point again to the edge of the fabric, hold it down. That's my second set of triangles. The third one, and now I will just flip the fabric over and I will cut out the 4th triangle. Each of my triangles is the same size because of the way they are cut. I have a few stitches in the top to open out, and then I will just press the seam and have my finished 4-inch half square triangle. It's the quickest, easiest, most accurate method I know of making half square triangles, and the wastage of fabric is minimal. The only job I have left to do now is to take them to the ironing board, press them, and then trim off the dog ears.
Thank you again so much for joining us today. So that is are the adjustable locking rulers. I think Leonie does an awesome job just kind of showing the uses of those. Someone asked if there is an option to buy all of those rulers in a bundle, and we do have that option. It isn't in the mini bundle, but we shared with you the options on how to, get a discount if you wanted to buy the mini quilt rulers that we are recommending. And those are on each of the pages. So you can learn more about that. If you wanted to buy the mini sizes, that's the 1 to 3 inch ruler sizes. We have those in a little option where you get a discount at checkout. If you buy the new Make It Square ruler and then the mini 1/4 square and mini adjustable locking square rulers, half square. I always get loud when I get to watch the half square, just because it's so cool the way it just comes together so easily once you kind of sew the strips together, and just how those rulers are married together and to minimize waste. That's a big piece of it for when she created these rulers, was that she's in Australia. Fabric costs a lot in Australia, and so minimizing waste was really, really important to her. And so that was a big reason why she went ahead and put together the rulers the way she did to make that happen. So I thought that was really, really neat. Okay, so we're going to pick a winner. Did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share in regards to your mini quilt and the use of those rulers? I noticed that you don't have the basic adjustable locking ruler on there. I assume that are you using a standard ruler? Another question came up too that I was going to ask.
Okay. Boy, that's a lot of questions in one
I
sentence.
know, right?
Um, the one thing that I really like about the adjustable rulers is that it shows you where the bias is. So if you forget when you're cutting, it shows you right where the bias is. Because I used the charm squares, I did not use an adjustable straight ruler to prepare these. What In some instances, I did cut the charm square from corner to corner, and then this is your bias, right? So when it's cut, it ends up like this, and then this is your bias, and that's where I did cut some. The others I just used and cut along the outside. It's kind of hard. I'll explain it in class. But that's what, so I did not use the adjustable long ruler. You could if you wanted to, if you don't use a charm pack, if you're using regular fabric, like a regular yardage or a fat quarter or something like that, then you could use the adjustable um, big ruler to do that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to
Someone,
think of the smallest one that there is, and I think I still think it's I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. This is 12. Yeah, this is 12 by 6. I think, oh, 18 by 6. No, 12 by 6. No, 18 by 6. I think that might be the smallest one, but I'm not really sure.
we do actually have a mini.
Oh,
I
and I
know.
didn't know. Oh
I
my,
know.
I have one more
Well, I
thing to
figured
buy.
that you were just, well, you are. You're using the mini term pack. So, with the charm packs, the straight ruler isn't as necessary. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think that you were being reasonable in your recommendations. But yes, we do have a mini, and there was a good question that came in. Someone asked if they can't do the lives with you, can they go ahead and just buy the class from the university and watch it later?
They could. I am going to record the Zoom sessions.
Okay.
And then I'm going to clean them up a little bit. You never
Okay.
know what happens in a live session.
Yeah.
You know, I could spill a soda in my machine. That's not true because I don't drink near my machine, but you never know what can happen in a live. So I might have to do some editing. I can't say that the videos are going to be up the next day, but they'll be up
Okay.
within a week at
Yeah.
least. I would say, give me a week to just look at them and make sure that they're clean and before, because
Sure.
I'm gonna have to do 2 videos, maybe 10 days, because there's gonna be 4 hours of video that I'm gonna have to go through.
Oh, got it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
give her a
for
little
each,
time
yeah.
to have the videos uploaded and really live for everybody to enjoy. Um, okay, great. And so again, we linked in the options. There was a note that was made by Leonie in that live that um, she did not uh, do thumb screws on the triangles because she, flips them over to be able to measure the correct strip size. And then someone else commented that they have actually converted theirs to allow them to go ahead and have the thumb screws on those. So, have you put thumb screws on your triangles?
I have not because normally I would put them like normally I use them like Leonie does.
Okay.
I never
Yeah.
thought of doing the mini ones. This is what I have. Let me show you what I have. I have this
Oh,
little
a mini
miniature
mini
screwdriver.
screwdriver. I think we all have screwdrivers in our sewing room if we're sewers, right?
Yeah, and this
Um,
actually fits in my ruler rack.
yeah, it's just a flathead
Yeah.
screwdriver. That's all you need to be able to adjust the on those quarter square and half square triangles. So, okay, I am going to go ahead and show before we pick our winner. Just so you know, right now we've got it looks like about 30 entries into our winner drawing for the embroidery collection. Oh, we're down to 29. Somebody left. I wanted to go ahead and share with everyone the mini. So here's our mini straight ruler. It is actually a 4-inch mini straight ruler.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you wanted a straight ruler for mini, we have one of those too. Some people just like all the mini stuff, like you, Pam. You should
Yeah,
have a mini.
I like all the mini stuff.
The sizes on the adjustable locking rulers they do vary. We have a 12.5 by 12.5. We have a 6.5 by 12.5. We actually go all the way up to an 8.5 by 24. So just so you know, there's lots of options for sizes for the adjustable locking ruler depending on what your needs are. Our most popular is the 8.5 by or the 6.5 by 18. We do include that in our kind of adjustable locking ruler bundle with the regular sized half square and quarter square triangle. That's the 2 to 6.5 inches. So just so you know, those are all available. All right, so let's pick a winner. Again, we're picking based on comments made in our live today. So you can see that we are picking from participation, guys. And let's see who the winner of the miniature embroidery collection is going to be. That's the 2.5 inch designs. Rosemary, you are the winner of the mini embroidery collection. And again, we've got that pulled up here on the screen, but it is the 12 2.5 inch embroidery designs that Pam used to go ahead and finish this gorgeous mini quilt we've got right there. So congratulations to Rosemary. You are our lucky winner here today. And so we'll have you contact the office to go ahead and claim your prize. But yes, please go ahead and let us know. And we'll mail that off to you and get you access to those amazing designs, whatever you prefer. So again, today we showed off some really cool stuff. We showed off our brand new Make It Square ruler. So that's again our new Make It Square ruler. You see it right here on our So City page, but it just got blocked for some reason. And so we've got, figure out why it's being blocked. um,
I do want to address a question. I saw a question about if they don't have an embroidery module, can they still take the class? Of course you
oh yeah,
can.
yeah.
And then you could use mini spinifexes to quilt it
Oh, that's a fun
if you wanted
idea.
to. Yeah, we're going to do that in the future. We're going to use mini spinifexes.
I love
You
that.
could use the mini part of your clamshell from your sampler set and just
Okay,
do mini clamshells over the whole thing. You could do stitch in the ditch because they're pretty small squares, so you could quilt. There's some battings where you can actually quilt like 6 inches apart, so you'd be fine. So yes,
excellent.
yeah,
Okay.
there are ways to quilt it without using embroidery.
Yes. Well, that's the thing with embroidery. All of our designs are originally based on ruler designs that we have in our lineup. So while we've been able to downsize and upsize our ruler designs because that's the magic of embroidery, they are all based on ruler designs. So our mini Spinifex series would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
There's so many options that are those little cute little mini designs, so I love it. All right, well, don't forget. So the things that we shared today, again, we have our new Make It Square ruler. We have a fun little video on there if you want to learn how to use it or what it's all about. We're going to be giving one of those away, so don't forget to enter to win. You can go to our blog to go ahead and win that. And so I'm going to post a link to that right now. And we obviously learned all about Pam's new class. And again, that's the Make It a Mini class by Pam VARNER. You can see that on the screen right now. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link to all to go ahead and learn more and get signed up for that awesome Zoom class. If they sign up today for the Zoom class, but they can't make it to all the sessions, then the nice thing to know is that they are recorded and they will be uploaded for you. So you'll still be able to go ahead and watch that later. And again, there's 2 sessions options. One is on a Friday beginning on March 1st. The other is on a Saturday beginning on March 2nd. So check those out. Those are on our So Study University. I posted links to, I think, both of them. Right now I'm showing you the Saturday option, but I posted a link to the Friday option earlier. You can find them both on the So Study University under Pam's name as the author. And then again, we have that super deal. If you choose to go ahead and buy all 3 of our mini Make It Square tools, then we are going to give you $7 off. So just a little bonus deal for you. If you choose to go ahead and do that, I'll go ahead and make a note of that right here in our live chat as well. But that's just an automatic discount at purchase. And if you want to go ahead and purchase that through one of our So Steady resellers, we're happy to honor that discount through them as well. So go ahead and let us know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I think we're all set for the day. We are going to go ahead and look forward to having you join us for our live tomorrow. We're going to be kicking off our second embroidery class. So if y'all are part of our embroidery, then we would love for you to make sure you join us for our second embroidery class tomorrow. That is using the starter sampler collection. Deb Donovan has created a fun little class that actually incorporates those rulers as well. So we're doing our first class where we're sharing with you how to do both. And you can join those classes. Don't forget, on our So Steady website, all you have to do is head on over to our main page and go to our embroidery club locations. We send you a link to this and everything. And then you can choose one of our amazing classes that you can go ahead and get signed up with to watch that live with. So here's all of the information for how to access that live and jump in and be part of that. And that again is happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we'll look forward to having you join us for that. You can watch it from any of these locations live if you want to do online. If you're part of the Embroidery Club with one of our stores locally, then you can go ahead and join in at one of those locations where we're hosting those courses as well. So you can check that out here, and this will give you some information on how to contact them and find out when they're doing those classes, because it may not be when we're hosting the live, which is 10 a.m. tomorrow. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. And Pam, thank you for this gorgeous project. I can't wait to see all of your finished projects on Westerly by me. And I hope you all enjoy making an amazing mini quilt with Pam. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.